It's the best of bias. You need the earful, you should try us. From pop culture to the movies to Unitas. It's the best of bias. Your best of bias. Yeah, it's the best of bias. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Best of Bias Podcast, starring yours truly, Lydell Dinero, back in the spot. I know last week I was missing, but you guys know why. You already know why. Your boy's back from Comic-Con, SDCC, and visiting V-Runs out there. So we're doing big things out there. If you follow me on the story, you know what's going on. I have plenty to tell you guys. And guess what? I saw Fantastic Four. It's time for me to review that. You know, I did Superman, James Gunn and the DCU kind of trying to make a statement with their first movie. And now we got, Fantastic Four, the first family, the next big step in the MCU chapter to see where we're going next. So I'm excited to review that with you guys. I'm back, episode 252, I believe. It may be 252. If it's 253, I do apologize. Let me check that for you. Let me also make sure my telephonics are on, or on silent so I don't get no disruptions. But let me see here. Let me just make sure I know what we got for y'all. I hope y'all doing well. In the meantime, so this is episode 252. I was correct. So welcome to episode 252. Yours truly, Lydell Dinero. If you're new, welcome to the Best of Bias podcast. I mean, if I was out and you guys saw me, you recognize this face. You were just searching YouTube and this popped up for you. It's your first time. What's good, YouTube? What's good? Welcome to the Best of Bias podcast, where we talk about a little bit of everything. If it's on your mind, if it's something you want to talk, you have a bias about, we're probably going to talk about it, from sports, pop culture, movies, comics, anything really, fashion. We're you know how we swag out, you already know. So we talk a little bit about everything. If it's your bias, we bring it to the table, and we're probably going to be talking about it. So welcome to the family. Got a little episode for you today. Nothing too long, you know what I'm saying? Because last time we did have some technical difficulties. I will get that together, man. These cameras, man, this new equipment take up a lot of megabytes. So I'm starting to learn how to do it. Again, it's just me by myself. So trial and error, but you already know how I'm rocking. Hopefully the glasses aren't too distracting, because you can kind of see the behind the scenes in the glasses, but I thought they looked fly. And they kind of represent me. These glasses I've been wearing for a long time, When you see them, you kind of know it's like they're there on the scene, so I just thought I'd wear them a little bit more. Hopefully it's not too distracting again with the screen in the background. But yes, firstly, I want to know how you guys are doing today. Weekend time. I know you're ready to hear this review, hear about some pop culture, but I hope you're doing okay. Hope everything is good, man. Me and myself, I've been going through some hard times a little bit, you know what I'm saying? I've been a little emotional. It's the 2-year anniversary of my ending of chemo. My doctor told me today that my scans look good, and I am in the condition that is equivalent to remission, complete remission from Hodgkin's lymphoma. So I just want to give all the graces out to God. Thank you guys all for the prayers, continued prayers, all the support over the time, because I kept recording during the whole time while I was going through the chemo, and try to keep it going for you guys, try to represent. Again, this is my therapy. I come in here to talk to you guys when I'm feeling down, when I'm feeling out, and when I need to vent. And man, lately I do need to vent, man. This is some troubling times that I've been dealing with, but I know once I get back in the booth, all those times will fade away. If you guys are going through something, hopefully you have somebody to talk to. If you want to talk to me, it's all good. You know what I'm saying? We all about that mental health. In 2025, we want everybody to be in a good mental health space. Going into 2026, you may not have hit your New Year's resolutions for this year, but there's always another year, always another chance for you to get your head on straight and to get your life back on track if it's not on track, So I want everybody to remain hopeful. And look to somebody to talk to. If you need someone to talk to, I'm here to talk to you, and hopefully everything's going well for you, because again, we talk about sports and pop culture and everything here, but nothing compares to how you guys are doing mentally and how you guys are doing. Health is wealth. And I always preach that first before we hop into it. But with that aside, again, hopefully everybody's doing well. Welcome to the weekend. Welcome to whenever you listen to this podcast. Hopefully you can kick your feet up and enjoy some good reviews and some good talk. You feel me? Starting off, prayers out to everybody out there in Russia and in the people in the surrounding countries affected by the 8.7 magnitude earthquake, causing tsunami waves to hit on the coast of a lot of countries, Japan, Hawaii. There was some dangerous waves hitting San Diego, SoCal, just all over the West Coast and the Pacific Ocean due to that, earthquake out there in Russia. So prayers out to everybody dealing with that. Saw videos and stuff of people trying to evacuate Hawaii and it just looks terrible, man. A lot of shit's going down in the country now, weather wise, just everything is crazy, man. So, prayers out to everybody. Again, hug your loved ones because you never know, what's going on out there, what happens. Malcolm Jamal Warner. I hope that's his name, from the Cosby Show and Malcolm and Eddie. His passing, RIP to him, passed away out there in Costa Rica, in the natural, in the ocean as well, man. It's like nature, has no wrath. I mean, has a wrath, obviously, but it can affect anybody at any time. So you just got to be ready and just hopefully, everybody's prepared for something that could happen. I wouldn't be super morbid about it or anything like that, but yes, prayers out to everybody. Hope everybody made it out okay and the waves didn't do too much damage. I know you guys are seeing it all over social media, some of the effects and some of the riptides that are happening out here in California. So I can only imagine what's happening, out there, in Russia, in Hawaii that are closer to the earthquake. All the animals that are being affected. It's sad. So keep your prayers out for them. And, if you can help, donate whatever you can, to help the relief funds, because again, Texas, how they had to deal with their natural disasters, and it could happen anywhere, anywhere at any time. The fires that were here in California, devastating. It's crazy. Nobody knows what's going on, and the world is supposedly getting hotter, and the conditions are going to keep getting worse, and we see that every year with things like this. So again, prayers out that we can get everything on track, everybody get safe, and we can find a way to get this environment in check so we can kind of prevent things like this and kind of have more of a notice when these things are going to happen. I don't know if you can necessarily do that. It might be kind of far-fetched, but we have all technology for all this other kind of shit in the world for useless things. So I just hope we can somehow predict these natural disasters and have better ways of, fixing them as well. And again, I got my dog Curry right here. I know you can see her down there. Audio listeners, you don't see her, but if you're watching her on YouTube, you see her right here panting her ass off. She's a little hot right now. This office is always hot. If you see her licking herself, I'm sorry. AKA, hopefully you can blur her out because she will start licking herself or biting herself voraciously, at any point during this video. But if she does, hopefully AKA can blur it and you won't get too creeped out by it. But yeah, first let's start with pop culture. Shannon Sharpe, man. Before I get into the SDC, I just got the news today. I heard about the news today. Shannon Sharpe is being just completely let go from ESPN, due to the, I think it was R word allegations, the sexual assault allegations put against him and, the girl Gabby that, he was seeing for a while. They said the stuff was consensual, but I think there was, some wording of him using his power to abuse her, and make her do things she didn't want to do all the time type of shit. So she did, I think, was trying to sue him for $50 million. I think they settled out in court for $20 to $30 million. And now she's actually retiring and quitting OnlyFans and going off to other ventures in her life. And Shannon Sharpe has to kind of pick up the pieces and start all over. I mean, he still has his nightcap and his, Club Shay Shay. But, man, it just kind of goes to show you just got to be careful with the things you do out there in the world, man, especially with people that you probably shouldn't be doing it with. I know the age gap thing, love is love. I guess this is not really love, but you like who you like. If they're over the age of, 18 and, both parties are consenting, it's not my place to judge. But a lot of the time, especially with celebrities in those kind of situations, bad things usually happen. Either the person that the celebrity is, guy or girl. A lot of times it's the women though. The person, and don't get me wrong, sometimes these people are being abused, but a lot of these cases lately, it seems like a lot of the stuff, like these people have been in relationships, they've been doing stuff consensually, but after either they had a falling out or, the person maybe wanted to stop seeing the person, they're like, oh, the stuff we were doing, I didn't really like that after all. And I think I should get some money because of this. And not all situations are like that, so please don't get me wrong, don't clip me up and say anything like that. But I do feel like people are seeing the money that people are getting to settle. Just so you don't get your name out there in the news or be associated with anything like that, they'll just give up some money just so their name won't be tarnished, just so you won't lose the ESPN job just for having those allegations on your name. And sadly for Shannon Sharpe, he didn't get it. At first, I guess he wanted like $10 million or something to be quiet, and he kind of fought the allegations and denied it. And then she wanted more money, and he got suspended from ESPN, and I guess he settled. I don't know if he thought he'd be able to get his money back by getting hired back by ESPN, but actually they let him go after he did settle because, I mean, instead of going to court and just proving your innocence, settling still kind of looks bad. So I guess ESPN didn't really mess with that. They're Disney and everything now. So they moved on. But hopefully somebody else picks him up. Maybe FS1 will bring him back. I don't know, man. Because I feel like there's people that do worse stuff out there. And at least this one, this relationship seemed consensual. They both said it was consensual. One, for her to get $30 million is a little crazy. But for him to also have to lose his job, though he didn't get convicted of anything illegal, is kind of wild as well. So, shouts out to Shannon Sharpe again. I hope everything still works for YouTube. He's probably raking in the money from Club Shay Shay and all the guests he's able to have on there in YouTube, and hopefully, the black community can get behind him to help him out to keep getting jobs and not have him be blackballed over some bullshit that a lot of his white counterparts probably have done the same thing. Not to throw his name in the mud, but you heard about all those FS1 allegations about Skip Bayless. And he's not working nowhere right now, but it's like, come on, he's not going to lose. He didn't lose everything. And a lot of these guys are out here doing crazy shit, and they didn't lose everything. And again, if the relationship was consensual, I wasn't in the courtroom. I don't really know all the details for it, but if it's a consensual relationship, and then after a while, it's just like, okay, now, I didn't like that after the fact, and, I don't know. But anyways, just a little quick update on that. I didn't really want to touch too much on that, but as more news comes out, we'll see what happens. Again, maybe he'll get a job somewhere else. Maybe not. But shouts out to him, and it's kind of sad that happened to him, because he was on a great trajectory until this happened, and yeah, that's really wild. Moving on, I'm gonna talk about my time at SDCC, man. SDCC was amazing. Thank you for having me, though. I only was able to go Thursday and Sunday. San Diego, you guys do it right. You guys do it right. In a sense, I'll get to the pros and cons in a little bit, but hey, the fact you have so much stuff outside in the downtown area at bars, at other locations, behind the convention center for people that didn't get tickets is amazing. Though the lines were crazy because people that, just were coming by to spectate for Comic-Con and they saw free things available, the lines were super crazy for those. I just love the vibes. I just love the vibes of everything. Again, I flew in on Wednesday to go to the festival, or excuse me, the Comic-Con on Thursday. Thursday we were able to get in. I got there early. I got there early because I wanted to do panels. I wasn't going to be able to do Friday and Saturday, all the good panels. So I was like, nah, I'm waiting in line for Ballroom 20. I'm going to be able to see something. I'm going to see the 20-year anniversary of Avatar: The Last Airbender with the whole class there, or the cast there. I was definitely going to see the One Piece first English premiere, the first 2 episodes of Egghead Island Part 2 for One Piece. I had to see those 2 things. So I stood in line for a long time, long windy lines. You guys heard about it in Comic-Cons. You may have to stand in line for these things if you want to see panels. You kind of have to decide what you want to do. You want to do panels or you want to hit the floor. You got to make that decision early because, if you're in that line to wait for those panels, you have to be committed because everybody's going to be in there. And if you don't get in there right away, it's going to be full and people aren't going to come out. So I said, fuck that. I'm going to commit. I am a big Avatar fan. Toph gang for sure. You already know Earthbend gang over here. Why am I forgetting her name? Her name is Michaela Jill Murphy. She voices Toph. I saw her at LACC. But I missed, Zach Tyler Eisen, who voices Aang at LACC. I didn't see Dante Bosco. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't able to see Jenny Kwan, who plays Suki. Dante Bosco plays Zuko. I didn't get to see Jack DeSena, who plays Sokka. I definitely didn't get to see Janet Verney, who voices Korra. Everybody was there. It was hosted by Korra, the voice actor of Korra. and they went over 20 years of the show. If you know me, you know how old I am. I'm 34, old head, whatever. But 20 years ago, I was 14, and when this came out, it had a really big effect on my life. So for me to be able to get in there and kind of sit through the panel and enjoy all the voices, hear the artists, the music creators, because you know how dope the soundtrack was. That's all in original music. They actually were selling vinyls for the music. If you know Avatar, every book they had Book of Water, Book of Earth, Book of Fire. They had some crazy music for each season in each book. Um, they talked about how the music was created. They had panel reads with custom art from the artists who put together art, and all the voice actors read their voices and scenes from the show. It was crazy. It was fucking crazy. D. Bradley did his version of the Tunnel song. You guys saw that on my Snapchat. That shit is crazy. If you know, you know about the Avatar, man. It was so nostalgic. I actually did come to tears a couple of times when I was seeing the flashbacks from all the seasons when they met Aang and the different chapters and the bonding of all the side characters. It was a lot for me, and I appreciate it. Though I couldn't be there with all my friends, I'm happy I was able to be in there and provide a sneak peek for you guys on the Best of Bias Instagram. If you guys didn't see it, I will be having putting up a, uh, what is it? A review reel, just so I can show you guys everything that actually happened. I had a lot of behind the scenes videos that I kind of shared in my story, but other ones I didn't. I wanted to put together for a little walkthrough, for a reel for you guys, to give you guys a true experience of how I went there and how I got down. It was amazing. And then seeing One Piece, being able to see, I forgot the voice actor of, Monkey D. Luffy. To see her be able to introduce the first two episodes of Egghead Island Part 2, first ever English premiere. No, it's been dubbed anywhere else. So I sat through 2 episodes of that. It was amazing, man. I'm a person who can't really watch the show and watch the subtitles because I get distracted too easy. You already know everybody's on their phone while you're watching shows and shit like that. So to be trying to read subtitles and look down, look up, you miss something, is kind of crazy. The English dub doesn't premiere until August 18th in America. So for me to be able to see that at Comic-Con, um, Ballroom 20 was crazy. It was everything you could imagine. I didn't get into Hall H where Predator and Alien and Peacemaker and all that shit was. I didn't wait in line for that, and I didn't get to go Friday and Saturday when they were happening. I did go on the sales floor on Thursday. I did leave before I was able to see Anthony Mackie and the Twisted Metal cast for them to talk about Twisted Metal Season 2. A big fan of that show on Peacock. I wasn't able to stay for that panel, but I had to make a choice, man, because if you stay there all day, I'm not gonna be able to get autographs. So you know how I do with these Funko Pops. I need the voice actors. I need to get their paws. I need the signatures on my Pops to make that value go up. You feel me? You know, I'm always hunting for those signatures. So let me just show you what a little bit of what I got when I was on the floor. So if you guys know, I already got that poster. If you guys see back here, Johnny Young Bosch signed my Ichigo acrylic poster. So I got that signature. And he was always at LACC and he was at SDCC as well. So I had to cop that, Ichigo Chase and get that quote on that Ichigo Funko. You know what I'm saying? In the hard stack, you already know what JS8 for the people. If you really want to know what we're talking about, I had to get it authenticated. You know how I rock with that. It makes the value go up a lot more, but if you know, you know. But he's always amazing. He was the Black Power Ranger in the Power Rangers movie. If you guys seen that, I know a lot of you guys have seen that. I don't know if you know a lot of anime, but he does Broly, the voice of Broly in Dragon Ball Z. He does Ichigo for Bleach, kind of his most popular voice acting roles. But again, he's Adam in Power Rangers, Asian guy in the Power Rangers. When they changed him from the Black Ranger, actual black dude, to Adam. But he's very popular in the voice acting world. He does all kinds of shit. If you watch anime, he probably voiced one of your favorite anime voice actors, and and one of your favorite anime characters. But moving on, I was gonna try to find Rob Paulson again. I got my Pop signed by him, my Raphael Pop, Power Rangers Ninja Turtles collab signed by him back in LACC a couple of years ago. And they had Thrilljoy has a new line of, I don't really know what they are. They're called Picks, I guess. But Thrilljoy is really popular now. I don't know if you guys have heard of Thrilljoy. They're really similar to Funko Pops, but you know, it's a different kind of figure. I just wanted to get it again because I wanted to see if I could get Rob Paulson to sign one of my Animaniacs pops. I really like the Animaniacs, and he voices Wacko and Yakko. It is a mystery box because you can get Yakko, Wacko, and Dot. Yakko is actually the super chase you can get. And I guess Dot is the other chase you can get, but I ended up getting Wacko. 6,000 pieces though, and you only can get them at Comic-Con. People are selling them and whatnot right now, but Rob Paulson also famously voice acts for Wacko, so I was trying to get that signed, but I didn't catch him, and as you can see, it got a little damaged in transportation, but it is a good pickup, something that I'll, probably just keep for a while. And then, of course, if you guys know me, the Goofy movie is one of my favorite movies from back in the 90s. You know what I mean? Really big fan. This is a Comic-Con exclusive 30-year anniversary pack. If I can open it for the camera, look inside. We got a couple of figures. Got Goofy, and Max in there. We got a Roxanne pin. You guys know about Roxanne. We got Powerline. And it did come with a lanyard, a Goofy, movie lanyard and a little card. You know what I'm saying? Pretty cool, man. I saw it there. Pretty sick. And it comes in a VHS cassette type of case, which is pretty dope. Really like that. And then lastly, Adam MacArthur. I had to get this Yuji Dory signed. Jujutsu Kaisen is one of my favorite anime, one of my favorite newer animes. And I had to get Yuji signed, autographed, quoted. You know what I'm saying? Also got him JSA, you already know. You know what I'm saying? If you know about Jujutsu Kaisen, you already know it's good. And one of the top characters on there. I tried to get Ray Chase and get my Tengen signed, but I couldn't catch Ray Chase at the same time. Uh, yeah, I didn't want to get in line, and I didn't bring my pop on the first day. I thought he was gonna come back on Sunday, and I didn't want to load up my backpack to have too much shit in it, and he didn't come back Sunday. I was misinformed. SDCC is different than LACC for the fact that they don't really tell you who's gonna be there for sure on the SDCC app. They mostly tell you about artists and stuff like that. Everything else, as far as like finding celebrities and voice actors who are going to be there, you kind of have to look up on websites that have blogs that tell you who may be there. And that can kind of fuck you up because if you look on there and you kind of expect somebody to be there on a day and you don't bring the shit a certain day, then you don't get it. And that's what happened with Ray Chase. And also, since I stayed to watch the One Piece, I wasn't able to get the signature from Korra, or any of the other people in the Avatar cast, so I brought my Korra pop down there for no reason. But I got what I got. And the stuff I did get, I was really happy about getting. I did also get, I don't know if you can see it. I don't know exactly where I put it. Oh yeah, a Meliodas right there. Meliodas was signed. If I can get my finger there, by Bryce Papenbrook. He voices, also, what's dude's name from freaking Demon Slayer? His name is just Inosuke. He voices Inosuke from Demon Slayer 2, famous for that. And he's Aaron from Titan, Attack on Titans. So, yeah, a lot of famous voices from him too, but I also got him to sign that Meliodas, got that JS8 as well. So I had a good time. Day 2, I got to see Fantastic Four. So on Friday, kind of didn't go pop around on day 2. I was kind of worn out from day 1. But day 3, since I didn't have the tickets for Saturday, I did go walk around to the free events and things like that. It was really cool to see Abbott Elementary, King of the Hill, Adult Swim. They all have free activities for people to do. Hopefully I can get some videos and stuff to AK so we can kind of plug them in here to let you guys see what I saw. But they all have free activities for people to do who didn't get into Comic-Con, because as you know, Comic-Con is a fucking raffle, so everybody can't get every day. And I was in there for 3 hours in that queue trying to wait for shit to pop off for me, but I only got Thursday and Sunday. And again, my friends weren't able to get any because they were sold out by the time they were able to get in the queue from the raffle. So it's very selective for what you can do. But luckily, again, they had stuff around. They had an anime Crunchyroll Anime Fest. If you guys know, one of the best places to watch anime, Crunchyroll. They had a concert with DJs, and the second day on Saturday when I was there, they had Denzel Curry. He's one of my favorite, underground rappers, from Florida. Didn't really expect him to be at a Crunchyroll concert. I mean, I guess he's an anime fan, but isn't the type of rapper I would think would be with this crowd of anime. But when he was on stage, he was rocking that shit, but he was letting that N-word fly around a bunch of kids and a bunch of non-black people. I don't know exactly how I felt about it. I definitely wanted him to do his thing in Rage, but yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of kids there for the anime stuff, and they did not leave. And I don't think they know who Denzel Curry was gonna be because he came out there and rocked it, cussing. I go hard in the motherfucking paint, nigga. What you thinking, nigga? Like all these little kids probably like, what? What does nigga mean? No, but it was wild. Denzel Curry did his thing, and it was followed by a fireworks show, and it was all free. The concert was free, but everything there cost money. A $6 can of brisk. It was expensive in that sense, but it was dope, man. Although I didn't have a ticket day for Friday and Saturday, I was able to fill those days with activities with the hype around San Diego. Shout out Lou and Mickey's. I was able to visit V-Runs at the restaurant there and have great meals every day. Shout out to them for providing ultimate service every time I'm there, every time I'm in town. If you guys haven't visited Lou and Mickey's, is out there in San Diego, right by the convention center. So it's like right when you leave there, Lou and Mickey's is right there and available to everybody. So be sure to check it out if you're in San Diego and ask for V-Ron. Tell him Lydell Dinero sent you. And yeah, it, it'll be lit. And then the fourth day, I kind of just went around and tried to get some more signatures and kind of do a little bit more shopping, kind of round it out and get my experience in. The fourth day, I think everybody had the kind of same idea. They wanted to get a lot of shopping in because Friday, Saturday, probably Thursday too, they did a lot of panel stuff and wasn't able to get out there on the floor and buy as much stuff as they wanted to, or they were panic buying last minute stuff for people as they left. But it was busy as fuck. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people rubbing shoulders. It was connected to hotels and all different like parts, hotels and areas for the convention center. It was a lot to do, too much to do. Oh, shout out the Midnight Boys. I saw them on Thursday too. Podcast that I listened to out there, comic book and pop culture news as well. Shout out Van Lathan, shout out Charles, Jomi, Steve, and the ladies of House of R. I got to sit first row and see how it was done firsthand. You guys showed me a lot. I learned a lot. How to be interactive with a crowd, how to stand on your opinion and not be afraid of people who have to say. Van Lathan not being able to like Avatar. We have to discuss that, man. I know I didn't come to the meet and greet. I do apologize, but I was rolling solo and I got a little shy. I ain't gonna lie. I got a little shy. I ain't gonna front with y'all. But hey, you guys put on a great show. I still listen to every podcast. I'm very new to the pod. I can't say I've been a fan for a long time, but I've been a fan of Van Lathan for a long time, and seeing something that he does so relatable, and seeing that I listen to Bill Simmons and seeing that he works so closely with him, discussing movies and things like that. You know, I just thought I had to get down and get more in tune to what was going on. So thank you guys as well for hosting a great panel, having my FCC experience be so great. Again, I do appreciate it, and I will be back if I can win the raffle. I mean, shout out San Diego. It's a great con. We do have to talk about the workers being such assholes and not letting people stand nowhere. There's so many people, so much walking. The convention center isn't multiple exhibit rooms like a lot of the convention centers I've been to. It's just one big ass hall with sections 1 to 5,000. So you walking back and forth, finding different booths, and you just want to take a step or stand in line for somebody, wait for somebody, sit down somewhere. They don't want to let you do it, and they're yelling at you while they're doing it. They have to fix that. I've never been to any convention centers with people to do shit like that. But yeah, they have to fix that for real before before people start bucking back, because those people encourage rudeness, and that was just crazy. But Comic-Con, I love you. Invite me back. Hey, if you want me to host a panel, I can do it. You know what I'm saying? Best of Bias. Once we get the team together, we can do that shit for real. Best of Bias Cruise. If you want me to do something on there, holla at me too. I didn't get to your booth, but holla at me as well. Cinema Corner, Happy Gilmore 2. Goofy movie. Happy Gilmore 1's a classic, of course. I fuck with Adam Sandler the long way. The second one, it was just goofy from the beginning. From when the seagull pooped on the ball and the ball fell in the hole, I was like, okay, so this is gonna be ultra silly. It takes grown-ups to a whole nother level of silly. Adam Sandler kind of packed it in, but there's this nostalgia of Happy Gilmore and getting to see all the characters back, all his friends back. There were 78 cameos in the show altogether, or the movie altogether. it was really successful as far as views goes, really highly anticipated, but nobody really expected it to be as bad as it was. People expected it to be bad, but he really kind of just phoned it in. He was just dressing as himself the whole movie, pretty much just acted as himself. His last couple of movies have kind of just been him acting as himself, but uh, it was a while. It did have a record 4.6 million views in the first 3 days, which was a Netflix record. This is part of a $200 million deal. I think that Adam Sandler did break with Netflix to give them another 6 movies. I think he's been, as you know, all his last projects have all been done through Netflix, pretty much. All his last movies, the ridiculous sixes of the world, Hubies of the world. The one he was with Jennifer Aniston, Wrong Missy, all his movies with David Spade and all his friends, all those movies that he's produced for Netflix that have done well, they're in his good graces now. So they're like, fuck it, let's just make us another 6 movies. We know your movies are going to be successful behind your name. Here's $200 million, and he's pumping the movies out, man. He took a lot of money from him. He has a lot of projects to probably complete. So he's just kind of throwing shit at the wall at this point, but I liked it for what it was. The nostalgia was cool. Again, it was really, really goofy. So at some point, I watched it with my girl. So sometimes trying to be able to have some of the comedy hold up, though she's a Adam Sandler fan and kind of seen Happy Gilmore 1 as well. But sometimes when it's that cringe, it's like, do you want to continue to watch or do you want to watch something else? I can watch this by myself for real because some of this shit is super cringy. But ultimately, hey, Adam Sandler, do your thing. Wrong Missy was a hit. So if you have to do movies with David Spade or different people, put other people on. I know you're putting all your family in the movie and giving them acting chops for future endeavors. So if you have to do that and your movie can still hold a place in our hearts and have some comedies, a lot of the dramatic shit didn't really hold weight. I wasn't really a big fan of Click. Hidden Gems was cool. I don't know if I really watched that basketball one he did. But you know what I'm saying? Keep pumping shit out for the people, and the people I'm sure are going to keep watching. Keep doing Netflix a favor, you know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah. But let's get to it. What you guys are really here for, and let's get to this before we run too long and then, my shit want to fuck with me. Let's get to that Fantastic Four review, because there's a lot of shit I want to say about that, man. In the box office, it did 118 million domestically in the US, doing another 100 million globally, putting it at $218 million in its first weekend total. People are already kind of giving it a hard time just because it wasn't as, action packed or as bright and fast paced as Superman and what James Gunn got. But man, I liked it, man. Just jumping right in. Spoiler alert, I'm gonna talk about Fantastic Four now. If you guys haven't seen it, you probably want to end the podcast here or fast forward a little bit when I get to the outro. I'll let you guys know what's coming up soon. But we talk about Fantastic Four now. I think the cast did an amazing job. People are not really liking Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. They're saying that he didn't really play up to the Reed Richards of the comics or the Reed Richards that they usually know. And I think Kevin Feige kind of made a sudden reaction to that and kind of lessened his role on Doomsday, they say, to make him less of the lead because he isn't really able to carry a film or this, I wouldn't say a film, just this film as Reed Richards. And they need, Reed Richards to hold a powerful presence if he's going to lead the Avengers in the new Doomsday and have people believing that Pedro Pascal is the right person for this. But Vanessa Kirby did a great job as Sue Storm. Joseph Quinn did a great job as Human Torch. I really liked him in there. He wasn't as womanizing as the Michael B. Jordan and this girl needs to get up on it because she's sitting over here panting. And what's my guy? Chris Evans, when he played, Johnny Storm, how he was a super ladies man and kind of doing anything for ladies against his better judgment and stuff like that. He was a ladies man in this new iteration of Fantastic Four, but it wasn't really into his detriment. It wasn't as exaggerated as the other Fantastic Fours, which I didn't really mind. We also had Eben Moss-Bachrach as the Thing. I think he did a really good job as the Thing in this one. Though they kind of sidelined him a little bit in this movie, didn't really give him much to do. It even looked like they cut out his love interest from the movie a little bit. They had a girl that he kind of was talking to in one scene and she kind of never came back. I don't know. He was like gonna go talk to her and then he turned around and didn't talk to her. I thought that would come back up, at some point, but it didn't. So that was interesting to me, how they weren't really given the Thing much to do. I guess in the grand scape of things, with Galactus being who he is, the Thing really couldn't do anything in the grand scale. But they did a good job of showing them, not as really becoming the Fantastic Four like a lot of the movies did. They were able to jump in and kind of start from the middle, as they've been the Fantastic Four, the first family, for a while, saving the world. They kind of did a flash through a couple of their previous adventures and times with them saving their city and things like that, and them kind of gaining our trust. You know what I mean? But I thought it was cool. I like the retro kind of 60s utopia they had. Though it's kind of unbelievable how people didn't really fight each other, or they didn't really have any like serial killers or nothing really going on with the city. I think in the 60s, I don't know. I don't think Jim Crow was necessarily around, but I don't know if we were fully integrated like everybody was in this utopia. I guess on this planet, in this world, in the MCU, racism and stuff like that doesn't really exist. They just had big ass monsters, and the Baxter and the Fantastic Four helping them out, so the world was perfect. Until, Silver Surfer came, what was her name? Charlotte, Charlotte, I don't know. The female Silver Surfer is what I'm gonna call her. Um, I forgot, I didn't even write her name down, but you guys know her from Ozark. She did a good job. People were kind of worried about her not being a good change in actress after the original Silver Surfer was a male, and people thought, oh, this iteration is just Disney and Marvel trying to gender swap the character again and things like that. And I didn't really agree. I think she did a good job. She, her storyline was cool, how she had to be the herald for Galactus and how she was kind of forced into it. Um, and I also thought it was kind of cool how Galactus, in the grand scheme of things, he ultimately just didn't want to be burdened by having to kill planets and eat planets forever. Which is why he wanted Franklin Richards. So skip ahead. Everybody knows kind of, Fantastic Four and who Franklin Richards is. If you know the Fantastic Four, he is kind of pretty much a reality kind of warping, son of Reed Richards into Storm. He's able to kind of manipulate realities, do pretty much anything, and he's pretty much the ultimate being, one of the ultimate beings in the MCU. And Galactus can see this as he is born as a baby. I wasn't really the biggest fan of how the baby was born, in the space, when they were going to confront Galactus for the first time. It was an interesting, an interesting concept though, them warping into outer space and going to Galactus before he can come and eat the planet. Um, I like that scene a lot. I like the fact that, Johnny Storm was about that life, right? When they said that they was going to come and try to get the baby, Johnny tried to jump into action and, fuck Galactus up, but, Galactus is a big motherfucker. I love the scale of Galactus when he comes down to Earth. That shit was amazing. I like Galactus as a villain in this movie. Again, MCU has been having a tough job of actually having villains in these movies. You know what I mean? It's been mostly them fighting each other, or or them fighting, like, especially in Thunderbolt Century, they kind of defeating him with friendship. And then you had all the other Avengers movies. Again, they were fighting each other. They were pit against each other. Thanos was a good, bad guy. He was a good bad guy. I'm not going to lie, but we've been looking for that next villain since, Killmonger, since Thanos. Those, villains who had good motives and were a good bad guy, kind of held the stakes really high. And was able to hold weight. I think Galactus was able to do that a little bit. I think I did want more, maybe, of his backstory, more of him walking around on the planet, and more of them fighting Galactus. Maybe him coming to the planet first and then pushing him through the portal like they did at the end, but him coming back and then figuring out some way to defeat him for real, but actually fighting. A little bit more of Reed Richards' superpowers would have been nice as well. And, there's a lot of stuff to be, to be wanted. But I think how it was shotted and how they represented the Fantastic Four as being Marvel's first family, and having them kind of eventually go into Doomsday, ready to lead, and maybe having a conflict with the X-Men, or us just kind of knowing these characters already and just having, merged the last movies, and, being able to love these new characters for what they were. I think not Reed Richards, Franklin Richards is an important character to introduce to MCU and to Doomsday because ultimately I think Molecule Man and Franklin Richards, what Doctor Doom is going to want as Robert Downey Jr. In Doomsday to kind of take over all the planets and all the dimensions because those two people are the people that can actually warp dimensions or actually, you know, fight him and take over a dimension if they wanted to. So in order to be in ultimate control, Doom is probably going to have to either take out Franklin Richards or take out Molecule Man. So that may be the storyline of Doomsday. Though it wasn't as much fighting as Superman, I liked the heart of it. I liked the introduction to the characters. Though Superman did kind of the same thing. Um, we knew what James Gunn was kind of going to do as far as the comedy. There was definitely more action. It was a little more silly. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't think of Superman being sillier than a Fantastic Four movie was. The Fantastic Four was really serious, really slow. It was, the pacing wasn't as fast. And ultimately, a lot of the movie was, them having a conflict with giving up their baby to save the planet from Galactus. And it was kind of centered around one villain and one conflict. And that's not bad. Superman had a lot going on, a lot of characters to think about, a lot of characters to focus on. But I think Fantastic Four did a good job of focusing on this family, the conflict at hand, the need for Reed Richards to solve all problems no matter what. Sue Storm had a really big role. Unlike, I think, Jessica Alba in the previous roles of Sue Storm, they gave her a lot to do. They made her a strong character who ultimately did defeat Galactus. So that was really dope. Again, Johnny Storm, they didn't make him the girl crazy, just think with his dick first. They actually made him be a problem solver, figure out the Silver Surfer's language to get in her head and kind of like help her or ultimately help him defeat Galactus because Johnny Storm was going to sacrifice himself to push Galactus in the portal they made. But Silver Surfer bumped him out of the way and was able to take over and push him through the portal with her power due to her wanting to be free of being Galactus's herald and watching and having to watch all these planets be killed and all these people die. So it was cool. I wasn't mad at Sue Storm ultimately being the one to do it. You know what I'm saying? Again, the Thing couldn't really do shit to Galactus. I didn't really like the fact that Galactus was kind of going to stretch Reed Richards apart. He should be able to stretch a lot more than that. I've seen in the comics him stretch a lot more than that and get out of situations like that before. So I don't know if necessarily that would have actually happened. But hey, man, they did what they could, even though I don't know how that teleportation thing would have actually worked. I mean, he did the experiment with the egg to get the teleportation thing across the room, but all of a sudden the whole world knows how to build a teleporter so he can teleport the planet to a different place. That was interesting. I mean, I'm sure Reed Richards, the smartest man in the planet, would be able to figure that shit out in a fictional world, but that was kind of a far-fetched idea. That was super far-fetched. But for the Silver Surfer to come and fuck it all up in the last minute, that was kind of fucked up. But yeah, man, I hear a lot of people asking me what I like better between Fantastic Four and Superman. I do have to watch both again. I said I was going to watch Superman again, but I didn't get around to it. I couldn't find an IMAX closer. I want to watch it in IMAX. I don't want to watch it the same way. But I do feel like Superman did a good job of reminding you of who Superman was. It did a good job of introducing side characters you didn't really know, setting up the future Peacemaker shows and other DCU stuff. And James Gunn does a really good job of doing that. But, Fantastic Four, they were tasked with getting us reintroduced to Fantastic Four, letting us know who's going to be driving the next phase, getting us to accept that, getting us introduced to Franklin Richards, him bringing his mom back to life at the end. Yeah, I get it. But it's kind of scary that the baby knows how to use powers like that, being a baby and not even knowing what he's doing. Just imagine when he becomes a teenager, becomes hella emotional, what the fuck he's going to be able to do. But I mean, again, spoiler alert for the mid-credit scene, you see Doom coming in, looks like he's about to snatch the baby up and be using him for nefarious reasons, you know what I mean? Who else was in the movie? Again, it was this is really centered around the family and their inner strife and them dealing with the public, you know, wanting them to give up their baby and then pushing back, and it's like, no, we're going to keep our baby. We're going to find a way to save the planet. Just because we're not giving up our baby doesn't mean we're giving up on the planet. We're just going to concede defeat. You know, we saved the planet a lot of times before. Just stick with us. We can get it done. And, you know, you guys saying give up our baby sounds really crazy. You know, in hindsight, how you going to have me want to fight for you guys when you're trying to give up our firstborn child that I had in space with no blood? You know, my husband's best friend saw my vagina. My brother saw my vagina. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy times out there in space. You know, and you trying to take my baby from it was crazy. But ultimately, again, I really did like the movie. It was top tier. I hope you guys liked it. But yeah, go check it out. I rated a 9 out of 10, man. I did rate Superman 8 out of 10, but I got 9 out of 10 for this one. Go check it out. It's in theaters now. Let me know how you like it. But yeah, it's into the podcast where you can let them know, or I like to let them know where to find me at. It's Patrick_Lydell on the Instagram. Patrick_Lydell on the Snapchat. Anywhere you want to find the podcast, Best of Bias, look us up and you can find us. All the podcasts are there. AKA, thank you for everything. Always putting the videos on YouTube, getting these videos up for everybody to see. Check us out wherever you find your favorite podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that shit. Look us up when we're here for you guys all the time, always. You already know what it is. It's Lydell Dinero, Best of Bias Podcast, episode 252. Enjoy your weekend. It's your boy, and we out of here. Yeah, go see Fantastic Four, and then watch Happy Gilmore too, and hit us up if you want to be on the podcast. Of course, it's the Best of Bias podcast. Yeah. It's the best of Bias. You need the earful. You should try us. From pop culture to the movies to unite us. It's the best of Bias. Best of Bias. Yeah, it's the Best of Bias.